Hey guys, what's going on? Bloomson here and welcome back to another video. This is of course another episode of the small things in PC gaming. Now last week we talked about graphics cards and frames per second. This week we're going to talk about monitors. Now to get out of the way quickly, one thing a lot of people talk about is the size of a monitor. Honestly, it doesn't matter at all. For me, I like around about 23. The one I use at the moment is 23.5. I actually have three. I've got the big, or the sort of standard 23.5 one, a small square one, that's just an old one that I sort of picked up and thought, you know, why not have it as a second screen, and then a TV that was for the PS4, but I kind of thought, hey, I can actually get this to work on my PC. It works perfectly fine, and I would be making some adjustments if I had the time and the money, but I don't right now. Some point I will do. So like I said, size doesn't matter at all. This is some more basic stuff. The main reason for that is because I don't really have the time to go into full detail about it. Just basic stuff about monitors, and you might not understand already. Now, as I said last week, monitors are made up of pixels. At least the image you see is made up of pixels. Now, those pixels are generated by the graphics card, which acts as the translator. Again, we got into that last week. Go and check out last week's video. And one thing a lot of people talk about that is somewhat minor, but I want to talk about it anyway. Refresh rate. It's basically how quickly your monitor can display what's happening. So if I do something, occasionally then there's a slight difference and then it happens on screen. So some will have a terrible refresh rate where you'll be able to notice input lag where you do something and then it happens. Most monitors these days that cost a good amount don't really have a noticeable one at all. Unless you're using like a microscope, really sort of a high-speed camera, you wouldn't be able to tell at all any difference. So now the main thing about monitors is resolution. Now resolution is basically just how many pixels can be contained inside the screen. When something says it's 1920 by 1080, that basically means there's 1920 pixels in width and 10,800 in height, or sort of from top to bottom. So obviously if you times that you get sort of an overall count, but people don't really say that. They just tell you how thick it is, or how tall it is, which is usually just the number you'll use. So you're saying 1080p, which is 920 by 1080. So obviously 720p is 1080 by 720. Now occasionally you'll see 1080p, and other times you'll see 1080i. Now what this basically means, I versus P, is I is interlaced, meaning that the monitor will say it's doing 60 frames per second. In reality what's happening is it's doing 30 and it's basically doing it twice. It's doing all of the pixels from top to bottom as it's doing all of the pixels from left to right or right to left. This then creates an image that appears to be 60 frames per second and usually is slightly more blurry than 1080p, or at least P. The reason this is because obviously it has to go through all of these rather than doing all at a certain time. Now for P, which stands for progressive, the image is drawn line by line, usually from top to bottom. This basically means that you get a much more crisp image due to the fact that it can do a lot quicker. You sometimes use interlace because it requires less power, but P does look better and has more sharpness to it. If you go up and change your resolution on your PS4 to be 1080p compared to 1080i, you'll definitely be able to see some differences. It's nothing major, nothing that you'll really look at and go, oh my god, that's terrible, but it's really something that you will notice if you do give it a good look. Now, like I said, this is a very brief sort of overview at it. In reality, I want to get an episode up just to keep the series going. It's something I really want to do more of, because I learn a lot myself, and I really think you guys will learn a lot from the series as well. So hopefully you did enjoy. Again, I'm on holiday right now, so I can't really do any updates on videos, but hopefully you did enjoy this one. It's nice and short little video. Again, I'm on holiday, I can't really do much more, but again, hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you next video. Blue Monsoon out.